In 2017, what year was that I went to Paris Fashion Week, Joe? Was it 17 or 18? 17?
I think it was 17.
17, right?
I think it was an everyday struggle, yeah.
So look, Joe, I was in Miami. I was about to, now I had gone to the VMAs, right? And everybody was like, oh my God, your hair looks so nice like that. Now, at that time, everybody started wearing their hair jet black, part in the middle, you know. So when we was about to go in Paris, I said in Miami, in the room, I was like, oh, you know what I'm gonna do? And this is who was in the room. Grizz, who was my videographer at the time. Maher, who was my stylist at the time. And Neil Farina, who was my hairstylist at the time. I said, oh, you know what? They ain't giving me my props. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna wear my hair to my feet. Jet black, middle part to my feet. And I said this, and I don't work with any of them anymore, so, I mean, they would let you know if I was lying.
I know. Sure.
I said this, I was like, you know what? Watch everybody start wearing this style in their hair. So, of course, they did, right? But now, if that was a new, fresh, probably white artist, even for something like that, they would have been on the cover of every magazine. You know what I'm saying? With that influence and all that. Mm-hmm. But not me, because if, like you said, if I say, oh, y'all, remember in 2017 when I started wearing my hair like this, then our own will be like, oh, girl, don't even talk about that. Why she gotta mention that? The reason why you gotta mention it, y'all, let me make sure I explain this, is because when we don't mention it, we are erased from those things.
It didn't happen, yep.
They act like it didn't happen. And therefore, they can continue to minimize our influence. That's why we don't have those. That's why Kanye is saying, we weren't able to get in the meetings, get in the room in the fashion company. If you don't let a black woman say, hey, I started wearing my hair like that in 2017. If you don't let a black woman say that, somebody else will inadvertently get the credit, and they'll continue showing no regard to black women for what we do for this culture.
Very important point that you made.
It's very true. That's why Billie Eilish can come out on Monday with a new hairstyle, and on Tuesday she'll be on the cover of American Vogue with it. They don't have to do it with us because we beat ourselves down. Yes, I did start wearing my fucking hair like that. Rest in peace, Karl Lagerfeld, because when he saw me in Paris, he loved it. Now, till this day, everybody is wearing their hair like that. And we just gonna pretend Nicki ain't start doing. I remember when I first started doing my hair.
You bitches couldn't even spell Prague.
That's right. And when I had my hair like that in my Prague video, people was
I love
laughing.
that Prague
they
video.
Was like, where she going with all that thing? That hair was
she
thing.
She going to Prague, bitch. Where you is?
No, but when I went to Prague, they was loving it, child. No, but Joe, I'm happy. I never wanted to talk about it. I can only talk about it with you, because you understand from both sides of what's happening. When I started wearing my hair like that, right? The wigs that they were selling, I posted some of them. It was like, it said the Nicki wig. Now, if you go and buy that kind of wig, it's not going to say the Nicki wig because everybody's worn it. And it looks beautiful on everyone. Let me make sure I say that. It looks beautiful on everyone. Everybody should wear it. Mm-hmm. But we never stopped and said, Nicki Minaj changed. Like, I said a lot of fucking trends in hair and a lot of shit, but it doesn't go to us. Let me tell you one other thing. A male rapper said this to me. A male rapper said this to me in 2015. He said, black women would rather give Kim Kardashian their props over giving it to you. They'll rather say, oh, I got this from Kim K. And by the way, Kim K is very influential, and she has started a lot of trends. And now I'm not going to take that away from her. Mm-hmm. She's very... she starts a lot of trends. But a male rapper said that to me in 2015, and I didn't understand what made him say that. I said, really? He said, yeah, they would rather say doing something like him than to say they're doing something like Nicki Minaj. Why is that? And we didn't get into a long conversation with it, right? Recently, I just want to let people know the reason why the most whatever female rapper or whatever isn't being represented on, hasn't been represented on an American Vogue or whatever. It's because if you don't speak up, we don't fight for each other, then they can take what you did and they can put it on someone else on a different race or whatever, you know, and just act like you never happened. And that's not okay, because it's been happening since the beginning of time, when black men were standing up there singing and dancing and writing music, and white bands were singing their music, and those black men died poor. Their families died poor. Because we don't do that. I was at the VMAs with my hair like that. Kim K had her hair wet and wavy that day. Looked beautiful. The following week at Fashion Week, Kim wore her hair, the long black, right, with the middle part. All I know is I said to my team in that motherfucking hotel in Miami, I said, I'm about to put it to my feet. So when they do it to their feet, they have to, give me my props. Shell.
Not at all.
Still ain't get them props. And it's not about the props. It's about, let's change the fact that when black people say, hey, I did this and such and such. Like when LL the other day, when everybody was spelling out the thing with the money.
And he showed his shit.
And he said, look, I did this with the ice, with the, ice, right? And I thought that was dope. I love seeing things like that. I love when people school us and say, oh, I did this and such and such. You understand? Now, yes, Cher has worn her hair like this. Yes, Donna Summers has worn her hair like this, whatever. But you know why you wearing your hair like that right now in this moment, sweetheart. You feel me?
Well, that's the thing about influence, right? Like, so powerful, and we have so much of it. But who are we influencing? Like, we don't know. Like, when we type on this internet, we don't know who sees it, who's looking. We could be influencing the person that them other people want to be the face of something that they shouldn't be, right? And that's why the ownership part comes into play. Like you mentioned Kanye earlier, I thought that one little sentence he said was profound when he said, hey, they offered me $100 million for my album exclusively, but I've never met Tim Cook. Yeah. You wouldn't meet him, because we want the influence. We don't necessarily want to sit down and talk to you and listen to you and think tank and share ideas. So yeah, it's important for people to know what they bring to the table. It's important to demand some shit. And the fucked up part is that we gotta bump our head a few times before we pick up the proper information to be able to say the shit that you're saying now.
Yeah, and by the way, let me make sure I say this, because you know how they like to twist my words. The same way I feel I should have already been on the cover of American Vogue, so should Little Kim. If we being all the way 1,000. If we being all the way 1,000. If this is what your magazine represents, influence.
Then how do you not?
If we being honest. If we being honest, because any female rapper, when myself or Little Kim goes on the internet, every day we see our influence. We will see our influence. So I'm not gonna say it's about me only, right? And not give that woman her just due about what she did.